Good evening, folks. Red County Blue Nation, Westcliff, Colorado, big county of Custer, great state of America, or I should say the great
State of Colorado.
states of Americans.
Yeah. Hopefully we can turn Colorado red.
Yeah, Stephen Rourke, James McMahon, Mike Boring. Jimmy, how are you this evening, buddy?
Moving water, looking at cows, doing a little fencing here and there, and framing up and visiting with some folks in the political realm, and common stuff. Change the brakes on the truck and oil change and yourself, sir.
Stick a fork in it and check if it's done.
Well, you got the fuel system working on one of them older trucks.
Oh, yeah, all that damn.
You had to tear the gas tank off and...
Well, yeah, I basically redid the whole thing. Welded the gas tank. It was rotten on top, which that don't ever happen.
You welded the gas tank.
You know it's true.
Man, I like that.
Shit, you ought to see me. You ought to check out my TikTok video.
Oh, buddy boy! You got a TikTok video welding a gas tank. Now, let's do the math on that.
Like I said, you better know what's up,
You
folks.
better know what time it is. Kaboom.
Yeah, not to mention cutting it.
Well, oh, yeah.
Cutting it with the...
Just a spark on the grinder.
Oh, yeah, I was cutting it full of water. Boy, that wheel... Oh, yeah, I should. Might as well just got sprayed with the hose. But, yeah, it turned out pretty slick, actually.
So the fumes in a gas tank is worse than a full one, is what I hear.
Well, yeah, that's... Gas itself just... Gas doesn't burn on its own. That's why it's got air, right? That's why you have a carburetor. You got to have oxygen to make it go bang.
That's why they say an empty tank with fumes,
Oh,
even
yeah.
with propane.
But yeah.
Anything that's volatile like that. So what? I'm flashing back thinking we used to fill some of that stuff with sand before we'd go to working on it, just in case there was some fumes or something in it. We'd fill that. I think it was with sand, or maybe water. I don't know.
I don't know how.
Anyway, it was something.
With sand, you're never gonna get it clean. So on a fuel cell. A fuel cell, you want to put water in it. So
Put water in it. Yeah,
get it
yeah.
out and get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it worked pretty good because I cut a big. This is not your normal gas tank.
You got a commercial heavy duty. It's not a tin gas tank. It was a steel.
Fabricated
1/8-inch steel or something.
3/16
steel. Heavy duty, yeah.
Yeah, so the tank itself was all good. It's just the brace that it was up against underneath got dirt against it, and then, it's a 79.
79?
Yeah.
So 80?
Huh?
That's 1 year before 1980.
Yeah, that's
when I graduated.
The son of a bitch is only 4 years younger than I am. 46 years old. So, it's been sitting there rusting for that long, and finally it rusted through, and so every time it snows or whatever, it just goes through the bed and gets on that tank and goes into the tank.
And contaminates it.
I'm trying to start it. I'm like, what the hell's going on? So I put a new fuel pump on it. It'll run fine if you're dumping gas in it.
Oh, directly in the carburetor on top side.
Yeah, and then when it backfires, the whole motor's on fire and all.
Oh, yeah, that's fun. Yeah.
Luckily, that didn't happen to me this time. But it happened to my mom. She had a 57 four-door Bel Air with a 283.
Yeah.
And I remember that when I was like 16, 17 or whatever, I was messing with that. And backfired. Yeah, and the whole motor compartment's on fire, and I'm like, damn. So I just start shoveling dirt on it. Open carb and everything. Just
doesn't matter. Put the fire out.
Yeah, that wasn't real good. But now she sold that car, actually. If it was a two-door, I'd probably have to keep track of it. But
that's the first car I remember as a kid was it was a 56, 57 Bel Air station wagon. Blue and white. We got pictures, family pictures of us when we just little bitty knuckleheads. But yeah.
But yeah, I couldn't really get it to work, so I was thinking to myself, what in the hell is going on here? So I took the top off the carburetor, and I was like, oh.
Oh, was it foamy?
What's that?
Was it a little foamy?
There was no
water?
There was no gas in it. I mean, everything was so plugged up.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I completely went through the carburetor, went through all the fuel lines, put another second fuel pump on it, redid the tank.
Freshened it up from start to finish.
Start to finish.
Well, I'm telling you, you may as well just dive into it and get her done.
Put seafoam in it, so
yep.
It's sitting there when I need it to go. Hopefully it'll.
Amen. And those things, they're not all. They don't have all the electronics.
No,
would you say it's a 79?
Yeah, it's got an HEI, right?
So it's got an HEI distributor. It's probably got a brain box on it.
Well, it's all in the distributor itself.
Right. Yeah.
There's no
brain box.
There's
even
no CPU on it or whatever control module. Yeah, it's just it's the timing.
It's like EMP proof, really.
Sort of.
Oh no, I'm just saying if you had a cap and a rotor and what else would you need to?
Well, it's the coil.
It's a coil itself.
The coil's inside the cap itself.
Right.
On them HEI.
Right. So if you had a new
high energy
coil
ignition,
right. Exactly. It's not a point deal.
No, it's not a point. It's
all HEI. Right. So if you had one of them in a Faraday cage.
Well, a lot of the stuff I'm reading too, like on them old steel bodies like that is a Faraday cage.
It really is.
So,
I mean, I'm not going to get out in the weeds with all that stuff. I'm just saying it's kind of nice to have something you can actually work on.
Well, that's kind of why I was like,
it'd be handy to have if shit goes south.
We've had that truck. That was our friend Rick Stober. He had Stober Irrigation in the San Luis Valley, so they used to put up sprinklers with it. So it had a hoist behind the cab. Then would lift them towers up, and then it had a torch set and whatever you needed to install sprinklers.
And it's a 1 ton, right?
Yeah, it's
just a 1 ton. Is it small block, big block?
Yeah, it's small block. It's 350. I don't know. Yeah, that's what it's been ever since we had it.
Yeah.
But
that's what I moved here in. Is the 1978 big block Chevy dually.
Yeah, man.
Took us 7 days to get her from California. We're bad winter. Had Rottweilers. Couldn't keep the defrost going. Oh my God, JoJo was in her car. Oh boy, what a.
But yeah, Rick had bought that truck new, and then my dad bought that. We bought it from him when he sold it to buy another sprinkler truck. So we've had it since like 80. Well, maybe like 82. We had it since we still lived in the San Luis Valley, so that was like 1982. So I mean we've had that truck for.
And it's in pretty good shape. I like that truck.
It's not too bad. It's gotten wangered on the door a time or two, but yeah, I mean, it's a good old truck. I mean, you can't believe how many cows we fed with that and how much.
Man, I'm telling you, those trucks.
Fighting them snow drifts.
Yeah. I was raised with, actually 65, 67, 69s when I was growing up as a kid. I was born in 62, but I remember having all those old pickups. Then you get in the 70s and 80s. and
Yeah, and so they were the same till 87. That's when they kind of switched. 88 is part of the 88s, but once you get to 89, then that's the newer. Be like the utility truck. That's a 90. So yeah, the old square body. It's pretty slick. But yeah, I got video of
doing all that.
I couldn't.
You did snapshots.
Yeah, I just did the short videos of. And of course, it's a good thing I wasn't on video yesterday because there was a lot of bad bad words being said.
So that's
Bad,
one of
bad
that's
words.
one of the
Combinations of very offensive words.
expressing my anger
Dirty,
about the
rotten, no good. Oh, my.
Rest 'em.
Oh, boy.
It's kind of like loading cattle. If you're not prepared to load them, or loading pigs. There's a vocabulary that come out of loading hogs with your dad or your uncle or whoever. There's vocabulary that was created there that is not fit for human consumption. You tried to force a hog to do something, boy. I tell you, that is not the answer. You need to lead them by their belly. You got to coax them. And Tim he took 10 pigs down there to Highway 10 processing. And those are them fancy, really dark meat. What do they call them? Mangalises or something like that. Kind of like wild hogs that are semi-domesticated. But they grow real slow, but their meat is red and it's really well marbled. Kind of high dollar. Anyways, he took 10 of them down. He took that trailer of mine down. I was like, boy, oh boy, call me.
Or don't call me.
Or don't call me. But yeah, that trailer done pretty good, and we done all right.
My old buddy John, he always told me when you want to load a pig, best way to load a pig is stick a bucket over its head.
There are definitely different ways to go about that.
If you stick the bucket on its head, then it just backs up. You can just back it right
back
in.
it right in. Absolutely. So the way he done it is he just backed the trailer up to the pig pen, opened it up, put the feed in the trailer, and then he kicked out a couple of them that he didn't want and kept the other ones in. And that's a tactic that I use. I load them up a day or two early. If I got to water them and feed them in the trailer, that's what I'll do. But trying to force a hog, if you don't have the proper facility, I mean, and that's what a lot of people don't get. You know, we consume, I don't know, 500 tons of pork a day.
I just seen that this morning. The old man was watching the market reports or whatever. China buys $5 billion worth of hogs.
From us?
Not from us. The European nations.
Right, and they grow a bunch. See, the feed ratio on a hog is 3-to-1. It's tentative, you know, when they raising it to 180 to 220.
Yeah, that's the whole thing that's the difference between beef, right? Number one, beef only has one. You only got one. When it bursts, you got one.
One.
Not 10.
Not 10.
And it don't come around every 3-4 months or whatever the gestation.
So gestation on a pig is 3 months, 3 weeks, and 3 days. So you can get 2.5 litters out of a hog that's having anywhere from 7 to 12. Hopefully you guys are listening to us a little bit because there's a wealth of information going on here. But yeah, cow has one calf.
Yeah, so tonnage-wise, I mean, it's a lot.
And the feed ratio on a cow, normal feed ratio is 8-to-1. It eats 8 pounds of grass and it gains a pound. When you get it in a feedlot and you could do hormones and things of that nature, and you get it to stand, you know, in the dirt and it's confined, you can get it down to about 4.5 pounds. And it's tender, well marbled, and it's, you know what I mean? And that's what we as Americans are used to. That's how cattlemen.
This is kind of gross. But also my granddad, they used to talk about they would shovel the manure from one pin to the next pin to the next pin.
Oh, so they could eat the corn out of it?
The last pin that they would shovel it to would get fattest, quickest.
Sure.
That most of the time that grain is not being
digestible.
Utilized, yeah.
Absolutely. Until it gets swollen up and broke down and the enzymes take place, the digestibility. That's why we come up with ground ground and powdered stuff.
Well, and even the crack corn or whatever, that's why they're talking about the last set of cattle on the end when you finished first.
Absolutely, because of the digestibility.
It's kind of grody, but...
Well, it's just a fact of life. And it's a matter of producing. So nobody produces their own beef, their own chicken, their own pork, their own eggs. So it's all laid on the back of 1%.
Well, a lot of people do that, but let's talk about, it's back to that. There's a reason why it's only such a short amount of the people that do it, is because it's the cost factor. Just like what you're going through, just like what I went through. Go over here and try to buy you organic feed it out, do all the work, figure out how much you got in the processing, do all that. You can go to the store and buy organic meat cheaper than you can put it up yourself. It's just the way it is.
So production, efficiency, and growing. But the government and the organic stigma that's attached to it is a bunch of malarkey, for one.
Well, I know, but it's still what we're talking about is if you want clean food and you really want to do it right.
The
cost is
insurmountable.
You can buy it. You can buy it cheaper than you can do it. That's why everybody is doing what they're doing.
Absolutely.
I mean,
so for me to produce beef, and a lot of people, I've been doing this up here for 25 years, and people go, well, how come you raised it yourself? How come you're not cheaper?
What's it just like?
Please don't ask me to charge you for my time.
Well, it's just like anything. It's just like a manufacturing plant. To build one off, I mean, it gets cheaper when you buy 1 million pieces, right?
There you go.
We'll get you tooled up, and we'll build this factory, this line of production line to build this stuff. If you want just a one-off, by the time you put the design work into it, source the material, do all the tooling, do all this, do all that. That first
production, custom, cheap. High quality, well done, typically, because that's how you compete in the world economy.
Well, that's what these guys
Custom now, Club America, grain, time, you would be spending $100 a steak.
Just like whatever you guys did with them chickens.
Oh, fine example.
How much do
Beautiful
you're
example.
Talking about what, $40 or $50 a chicken?
I mean, that's not really even counting the time.
Yeah, so I mean...
It does not pencil even close. So the production, the efficiency that we produce food at, and the convenience of the grocery store. If you think about... Let's just take Colorado. What is it, 46 counties?
I'm not sure.
Anyways, it's real close in there. It's somewhere in there. And think about 30 grocery stores or 10 grocery stores in a county or whatever the average would be. And all of the food that is shelved and sold in each one of them grocery stores, just in the state of Colorado, the millions and millions of pounds of food that's hauled and distributed.
What it boils down to, too, I mean...
How are we feeding?
There's something to be... Because it's called diesel fuel and hydraulics.
Right? Absolutely. And chemicals.
Well, the thing... We've been through this before, and we can go through it again, right? I mean, chemicals not all bad.
No.
If you utilize what you're doing, that's what... They make pesticides and herbicides that are friendly.
Absolutely.
Good for your health, but they don't want to do that.
No.
But that's beside the point, right? So, but most people can't do it. That's the whole thing.
No. 99% of us can't do it.
It has nothing to do with convenience, and I mean, all of that is all on one side, but on the other side, people just can't do it.
There's no incentive to do it.
It doesn't matter if you was starving to death. You're going to starve to death before you can produce enough food. You just can't get it done, folks. You don't have the education, you don't have the training, you don't have the wherewithal, and you don't have the Midas touch, right?
Absolutely.
You don't know what the hell you're doing.
Absolutely.
And just like Jimmy and I, just like we ain't no computer programmers.
Absolutely. And that comes from, I mean,
are you and I going to die if we got to try to shut down Skynet? Probably.
Yep, pretty sure.
Right? Our best chance is to try to hit it with some hot lead, right? I mean, that's all we got. We can't crack no code or do anything like that.
We can milk a cow and we can feed ourselves and keep ourselves sheltered and in the basics of basic caveman stuff. But when it comes to all this highfalutin, Elon Musk kind of technology or Bill Gates technology
Well, so let's talk about Elon Musk.
What about old Elon?
Well, so Roger Stone, for all y'all, if you understand much about Trump, you probably know who Roger Stone is. Roger Stone's gotten, he's like Alex Jones and them guys. I mean, they've been persecuted.
Well, they've been fighting against the elites forever.
But according to Roger, he says that, everybody wants to say that Elon's over here saying, well, Trump's on the Epstein list. According to Roger Stone, the only time that he ever did that, his jet was broke down, and he did ride on Epstein's jet to and from New York to Miami or wherever, Florida, and back to New York.
Like a hitchhiker.
Shit. God dang, my truck's broke down. Can I get a ride?
Could a brother hook me up?
I mean, just because we're catching a ride don't mean that we're in bed with each other, literally doing all the nasty shit, right?
So here again, to me, with the group of people that have stated that they want to bring uprightness and clarity and transparency and to the federal government, somewhere along the line we're getting tripped up. Something is, and I don't know if it has to do with Congress and the Senate.
Well, and so
all I know is the American people are very forgiving.
It's deception at all levels, right? It's psyop, it's illusion, it's what do they call it? Diversion. So I mean, was looking at the Sentinel this afternoon from last week, right? Because I was out of town for Mikey's. Holy, holy, holy for all that is.
Thank you, Stephen, for supporting a brother.
I mean, I don't want to say too much just because, but it's tragic. Tragedy is always on the brink of mankind, right? So you're only one half a heartbeat away from something going wrong, folks. And sometimes it's so wrong that, I mean, it's
pretty hard to breathe through.
Just as soon not be here anymore. But the deception. So anyhow, I'm reading through the paper, and in the back they're like, yeah, we got this one. ICE has got this one guy. And I'm like, everybody is so disillusioned. It's like one person is not going to make a shit bit of difference any way you make it. Like if we can't get 2 to 3 million of these people deported every year, we're never going to be where we want to be. I've already went through this. The census is going to give the Democrats the House. I'm thinking it's the House. Can't remember exactly which one, but it's sure.
So the House has got like 435, and their representatives. Yeah.
So there's so many.
And the Senate's got like 50.
There's going to be
100.
So many people. There's like 50 million illegals in this country, and there's only back when there was only 300, right? 300 million Americans. So you're talking about at least 20%. And
the only saving grace in mind, and that's just the thought coming to me, is some of those folks are kind of upright and godly. Not that some of them didn't come here to be destructive. And I don't know that they would vote for the Democrats because they're people that want to carry their own water.
They're not doing that anymore, but still that doesn't matter. So the vote means nothing. It's the census is how many seats you get.
How many seats you get.
So your vote doesn't mean anything.
So it could neutralize your voice. This is all coming from
DHS officials that I've listened to that are talking about there's so many people here. I mean, we're you know, the headlines in the paper is this guy was super bad, and I have no doubt that he was. But one person out of 50 million ain't jack shit.
It's like a drop in...
Nothing is getting done, folks! It's all smoking mirrors. Oh, we're going to deport and ISIS this and that. Shit. Just like Doge. So what's really getting done? Why are the Epstein reports not done? Why is Hillary Clinton
Why is Pelosi? Yeah.
Why are they not in jail?
Absolutely.
Why are they not in Guantanamo Bay?
And I think that's...
Whatever, man. I mean...
It's
nothing but a bunch of smoke and mirrors, folks. So, I mean, at this point, I mean, you could call me a little angry white boy if you want to, and I could give a shit less, right? But back to reality. What's really getting done? Nothing. Elon Musk and Trump are arguing each other about who rode on whose jet. Oh, hell. Shit.
Well, Elon was a little bit disappointed at the great big... beautiful bill.
And I haven't studied enough. I don't know what he was pissed about.
Well, I mean, here again, Trump's a businessman, but he's in a very political position where he's got to give and take and he's got to compromise. Elon Musk is a man on his own, and he doesn't have to stand and he doesn't have to compromise too much. This is my business. These are my rules, and this is what I do. President Trump, on the other hand, is I'm the president. I have to deal with the Congress and you know, that's the Senate and the House, and I've got to play patty cake with them. People.
Well, and that's the thing that don't make a lot of sense to me. You got businessmen on each side of the aisle here, but yet it's like, what are they bickering over? And I'm pretty sure what they're bickering over is it's that same thing. It's nothing but a psyop, just like what's going on in L.A., folks. Like, I mean, that was the title of the, you know, the headline of the podcast is like, it's civil war. Why is it civil war, right? Like, so these Mexican, I'm not going to say, I guess they're holding Mexican flags, so I'm thinking that part of them are Mexican from Los Angeles. Not trying to categorize or stereotype or anything like that, but these gangs that are burning and looting and throwing bricks off of interstates on cop cars, man. I mean, I'm a lot of my mentality is from the Old West, right? And so I'm like when you get shunned. I mean, that's what I really admire about the Old West.
I'm telling you, buddy boy.
Is so like you had to be able to back up whatever you was saying. And if you couldn't, you got your ass smoked. They'd blow your ass to kingdom come, man. And if you wasn't quick enough with your iron, you know, if you can't pull a 6-gun.
Your gene pool got eliminated.
Yeah, your ass is grass. And so, I mean, a lot of folks tried to stay out of harm's way and do the best they could. And, I mean, that's human nature. And that's all fine and dandy. But to me, the amazement of what it's really like when two people clash. All I know is if I'm a cop car and I'm going 70 mile an hour down the road and some freaking lowlifer, right? I got a lot of other words I want to say, but I'll just say a lowlifer, throws a brick through my window off an interstate.
And there's that saying that it says,
that son of a bitch needs to eat shit. That's what he needs to do.
Well, and that they're saying,
let me try this brick upside your face, and then we'll see from a man-to-man level where you're at. You think you can violate me? Well, let's reciprocate there. and see about how you can take the violation. Just saying. Just saying.
Well, that's a very natural
but it ain't
response.
Natural. It ain't natural no more. Now it's like, oh, God, you can't hurt nobody's feelings. They're throwing the bricks. They're the no good sons of bitches, traitorous, treasonous, whole 9 yards. And we're the bad guys. Shit, man.
Law enforcement out there. I mean, this, when you have a constitutional republic,
I knew
everybody's under the law. Nobody's a king. No one's a king. Trump's not a king. Nobody's a king. James Gilbert, who's having a little bitty parade come Saturday. Jimmy Bob, I'm going to be there, okay? I'm going to be on the opposite side of your opposition, okay? And that's good, because we need to have that. I know you show up at all the other little county commissioner meetings, and I remember you wearing your little mask all the time, and that's all good.
Well, you don't mean big hat, no cattle?
Oh, yeah. Big mouth and nothing else. Big hat, big mouth, and a bunch of nonsense.
Pelican mouth, hummingbird ass?
Yeah, alligator mouth, alligator. Yeah, exactly. So where I was going with this is there is a time and a place, and the First Amendment is established so we can start talking about things and get a debate and kind of figure stuff out. And reasonable people. It is all based on being reasonable.
The Second Amendment is when I don't agree with you and I can get to my piece quicker than you can, your shit don't talk no more because your ass is grass. That's what the 1800s was, folks.
Well, that's what I was kind of getting.
If you run your pelican mouth and your hummingbird ass can't handle the 6-iron good enough to keep your ass alive, then you die. And that's what's changed.
So the consequences, just like Pappy says, he says, you know what Pappy says? There's no consequences for all their bad behavior, and we've allowed that for the last 30, 40, 50 years.
Basically, last 100 years.
Well,
I mean,
we're to the point now where it's really in our face.
1913, when the whole damn banker thing
when the banker financial
that's when
destruction, absolutely, yeah. So at the end of the day, these people have been running roughshod over just the common man.
Well, and it's like,
and the common man's up against it now, just because they use inflation.
Gavin Newsom is up there running his pie hole, saying, "Well, just come arrest me then." It's like, I mean, I know we're supposed to try to be civilized, but I still don't understand. Part of me is like wondering how he can still breathe or how he can still talk. Why the posse didn't go smoke his ass? You're a traitor. You're a treasonous son of a bitch in this country. The penalty for treason is death, but you're still running your pie hole.
Absolutely.
So that's where I'm. You can call me an angry white boy or whatever. Like I said, I'm all y'all, all everybody out there that thinks this shit's all fine and dandy. You don't know nothing.
Well, and the people that are watching the podcast typically are they're like-minded with us. We're a big part of love is patience, and we're the American mature country folk. And a lot of pavement folk are very patient, very kind, but there'll be to a point where that gets wore thin, and we're about there. And I hate to even think about it.
The problem is if you've already waited too long, then there's nothing you can do. That's the problem. Yeah, my patience got thin, and now my dander's up, but it's too late. It's too late. The carjacker has already killed your wife and shot you too. And you're thinking, damn.
Should have done something.
Sure wished I would have took them concealed carry classes like my friend told me to do. Whatever,
so
man.
that's, and I'm going to agree with you, Stephen. My thing is, I guess I'm an internal optimist. I don't ever think that the odds are things have gotten so bad that it's not worth combating. And that may very well be wishful thinking that we're, because what you were saying is we're already past.
I'm just saying at certain times it is. So by the time that you get your what after they cut your kids'
wang
private parts off?
Well,
is that when you finally? Is that when you come around to reality? Shit, man! Come on!
So, and I guess we're trying to inspire and encourage people to say, look, you got to stand up for yourself and not allow things like that to happen.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I'm trying to make a profitable conversation out of all this and saying, where do you cut your loss? Where do you stand up? And the people in LA are going, ooh, wow, this is on our doorstep. And a lot of them folks,
most of them folks have nothing. They're all burned out already. Gone. Later to waste, boys.
You mean that Malibu fire down south and whatnot? Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, that burned all kind of shit, man.
Displaced a lot of people.
Ruined all kinds of people's lives left and right on purpose.
Extremely well-to-do people.
You can say that it wasn't on purpose and argue all you want, but we know better, right? We know that these are orchestrated. We know that it's orchestrated. You don't just pull some bullshit and say, "Oh, you can't cut down no brush because that's a living creature and we all deserve to live here." James Gilbert, we're all man.
There's a little birdie lives inside that sagebrush.
Get out of here already with your.
Well, the poppycock fake mentality where we ignore the facts.
It still is a dog-eat-dog world. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it.
It is, absolutely. And then you mix in insurance companies, lawyers, and politicians, and what you have now is an extreme environment for monetary exploitation.
There you go. We was talking last week and we said, well, it ain't all about the money, but ultimately the underlying bigger factor is it's all about the money.
It is, and I guess where I separate from that, and I know that to be true, Stephen. I'm going to wholeheartedly agree with you. But on the other side, that people that protect their soul and still have to function in the day-to-day life, there's principle.
And I'll be quite frank. What are we supposed to do? I've said it before and I'll say it again. Without divine intervention, we're SOL.
Absolutely.
I can't fight no harder.
I know it.
Without, what are we supposed to do? Tar and feather the commissioners?
Well,
that's what they need. That's what they used to do, but you can't do that anymore.
So here again, as a constitutional republic where everybody's under the law, and there should be checks and balances and checkpoints and keep the flesh and bad decisions and the wrongdoers accountable civilly. You don't raise your voice. You just execute the law and the words that are on paper, and you hold them accountable. So I don't know if nobody else, or if you've called,
so I see what's up. Saturday we get to.
So anyways, if you haven't called or have a personal relationship with Jeff Lindsay, the district attorney, who is the law of this county, he's the final say. He's the one that rules the roost on elected officials, and there's that law. Remember, I brought that law in here, and it's the only tool that I have found that I could civilly use to bring in the DA.
There's a couple more there that have a little more horsepower, but yeah, that's the original. I mean, that's the one where you have the right to bring it to the DA.
And I'm going to equate it like this. I'm going to say it as simple as I can. You might pull somebody over. Oh, your turn signal. You were making a left-hand turn and you didn't have your blinker on. And you pull them over after they're done. Woo, 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 pull over. Oh, not only didn't your blinker work, but you're drunk. You have
10 pounds of cocaine.
Whatever.
69 hand grenades. 25 pounds of C4. Your ass going to the hole, son.
So not only did the commissioners and the people that are working in the county connive against the taxpayer, in my opinion, they didn't say, hey, I'm inadequate to do my job. I know I was working at Hunger Buster last week, and now I'm in charge of HR and finance because Tom Flower and Bill Kanda hired me. And I'm so inadequate. Oh, and then they got the CIC software coming in. Lucas and Paul, Billy Bob Biden, your ship done sailed. But you other two men might listen to this just a little bit to help you get a grasp on your reality. CIC software was supposed to come in and be installed, and everybody was being able to be tracked. And all the money was supposed to be itemized and be able to track and hear you do. And it's supposed to be simple. But if you're stupid, it ain't. You'd have to have an education. You'd have to be a certified public accountant with knowledge and experience on how to even set the software up. Well, poor old Vern, artificial biker, we call him Skull.
Cranium.
Cranium. Oh yeah, Bernie. A couple weeks ago, he says in the board of county commissioners meeting, well, I've had it all in my brain for 7 years. 7 years. I've had it in my brain, my workflow and all. He was the IT guy. He wasn't finance and HR. He was the IT guy.
Yeah, he was.
That's the dysfunction that has taken place here, Mr. Lucas Epp and Paul Vogelson. You need to pull your head out of your ass, acknowledge the inefficiencies and the inadequacies of the people that are working there, serving the people of Custer County, and they're wasting our money. And we can't even get a monthly statement that says where the money's gone for 7 years. That's where I'm pissed off.
And so, I mean, it's as simple as what I just read today in the paper. So they can't take care of the weeds because they don't have any money. But it's a state mandated thing to take care of the weeds.
It's like the mask. Everybody got a mask because it was mandated.
That ain't it. Right? I mean, the noxious weeds is a little different than the mask.
Well, it's huge. It's a hell of a lot more important.
Your ass will be grass. There'll be nothing here but poison, folks, if you don't pay your ass attention. But no, we got us a wood chipper for the libs. They need a wood chipper. And I'm thinking to myself today when I'm driving home, I'm like, the county owns no property that has wood on it. So why does the county need a wood chipper? They don't own a piece of property that needs chipping.
How much wood could a woodchuck chuck it?
But yet we can't spray the weeds that the state, it's the state forces us, as they should. This is one of them things where this shit will ruin your ass, right? That leafy spurge will get you. There's millions and millions of acres in Montana or whatever. Once it gets 60%, it's done. Nothing else grows it. You're done. There's no hay, there's no cattle, there's no nothing.
That ain't important. I go to the grocery store and get my stuff. Why I need any of that, Steve?
But we need a chipper. Because the libtards say so.
Because the libtards are
it costs too much. I don't want to spend my money on my own property to take care of my own business, so I want the county to pay for it.
The taxpayers. It's just like these people in Florida. They built all these houses on the coast. Here comes this great big old hurricane. Well, look, dum-dum, you built on the coast. You did that. I didn't. I built up here on the rock. I didn't build out there on the sand. But now you're going to make me in 8,500 feet in Colorado pay flood insurance to pay for your house on the coast that is Hurricane Alley? No, if you got enough money to do that, you can be all right. You're going to be all right. So the nonsense in trying to make this a socialist country where you need to carry your own water, you need to be independent of yourself. Strong individuals make a strong county, country, neighborhood, whatever. But when you start watering and taking from the strong or taking from somebody else to make up your difference, that's socialism.
You got it.
And that's what that's why I sit in this chair.
Very good explanation.
I do the best I can to sit here every Wednesday night and inspire and encourage people to say, look, wait a minute. We've gotten so far off. We went so far down the rabbit hole and compromising and talking about things that weren't even anything that we should be talking about. Wood chippers, fine example. The government into housing. The government into giving somebody food. None of that was part of the great experiment. This was about individualism and carrying your own water. In matter of fact, if you could carry more water, you as an individual would decide if you carried more water than what you needed, you were able to disperse that water to an individual that you wanted to help.
Yeah.
When they take money from you at gunpoint
for a profit.
Well, here again.
Hey.
So right, a lot of that
I got an extra gallon of water here, but y'all got some seashells or whatever, or a couple pieces of steak or whatever. I'll gladly trade you this extra gallon of water. I mean, I'm not going to give it away. That's the whole thing, right? That's net loss, right?
So here again, I'm going to take it one step further. Charity. If you're strong and you're capable and you have an abundance and somebody else needs a hand up, not a hand out. Not a hand out, a hand up. If you say, okay, so-and-so fell on hard times, somebody got killed, whatever, you were able to give your energy to where you wanted it to go. Oh, so-and-so's a whore and this is her fourth abortion. Oh yeah, Jimmy, you're going to spend your money. You're going to keep spending your money on that. Well, that's kind of aggravating to me. Let me spend my money with my convictions and with my principle. But the government has tried to play God. And that's where we're at. And it's one thing if you say, okay, I got more than what I need, I can sell it, trade it, barter it. Or you could say, I could give that to somebody who is in need. And that's a charity, and that's a church's.
And that's all fine and dandy,
that's the
right?
purity.
But
that's purity.
That only goes so far because that's how people have gotten their ass into the sling that they're in. Well, hell, Jimmy gave me that, so I'm going to hit him up again and see if he'll give me some more.
Well, no, and here again,
it's back to the fundamental. What we've talked about 100 times, and we're going to talk about it 1,000 times. It's all about how resources, it doesn't matter if it's money or water or energy or whatever, how these expenditures are made, right? Conservative, fiduciarily responsible people take care of their resources. They take care of their energy, of their money, of their resources, all of that stuff. They take care of all that stuff. Then you got people that think that
hurry up and spend it before it's all gone.
I'm going to hit you up again because I think you're a nice guy and I think I can talk you out of it. Well, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to focus my energy trying to get something from you instead of making it happen myself.
So that is an individual contamination, and you're not going to do anything about that. And that's where I say pray for those that despitefully use you. But somebody, and I've been involved where somebody goes, well, and they call me years later, Jimmy, you know, if you hadn't done that for our family, we don't know where we'd have been. You can't take that treasure from me. There ain't nothing on this planet could take that from me. And I won't be robbed from that. And then there's other people going, oh yeah, like you just said, we're gonna go ahead and go back to that free fish thing.
Well, yeah, if you got...
And so here again, you somewhere along the line, you don't want to enable in somebody.
When you encourage 5 and 6 generation welfare recipients, enough said right there, right?
Yeah.
Them people are bred and trained to suck energy from other people. They're not capable of doing it themselves. They're going to take every ounce of energy they have and thieve from you.
Yes.
They're going to try to thief.
And the scripture says it's much more better to give. It's a lot better to give than it is to receive. And you either hear me or you don't. And I don't know if some people hear that and some people don't. Folks that have been socially conditioned where they've never had the chance to be able to give and to stand up and understand that it's so much better to give. Now, don't get me wrong, I receive too. But there's a balance of give and receive, and it's not an abusive thing, it's a healthy thing. But some people get into that selfish mode where they're entitled. I don't have to do anything. They owe me. That's where that whatever it is, retribution to the black people because their parents were slaves or something. Well, I'm like, I'm Irish. I never met my dad. My grandma was pretty much Indian, and my mom looks like an Indian. And I think my dad was Irish. I got a last name of McMahon. I never met him. Don't know anything about him. But at the end of the day, in America, you carry your own water. It's about the individual. And when we've gotten so far where we've crippled people with handouts, because if you socially condition somebody, people were making more money, Stephen, and you know this, staying at home during COVID. You might have been a waitress or working someplace making $350, $400 a week, showing up at the job, giving and engaged and creating wealth for the whole country, as well as yourself. And you were engaged in giving. You were serving. We're all servants. And it's a beautiful thing to be a servant. It's absolutely. Your servant is your master. But when they started staying home, getting a free check, the Marxist mentality progressed, and that cancer progressed so badly, we're unweaning ourselves off of that. We have a contaminated group of people that got contaminated with that.
Well, and then they did, and what I'm going to add to that is it wasn't like it just happened then. They was already 3/4 of the way there. That was just enough to tip the scale.
Icing on the cake, brother.
They was already there.
Yeah, the majority of people were already there. They never had the grasp of, what am I doing? Is this just a job?
Just like what I read in the paper. Dorothy Karsten, they get after her. Part of what the problem was is that she said that she was going to work from home. Paul Vogelsong thought she was on vacation. So now they're mad at her because she didn't report to her superior that she didn't come to work for 3 days. Well, she thinks she's over here working. Well, where's your work at? Right? So if you were working, you should have been able to show. So when they asked the deputy planning and zoning gal, she says, I have no idea what she's working on. Well, so like, how's that disconnect, right? Like, who are you that think that you can be above the rest of everybody that you're in service of? Your personal life, do you have a problem with the people that you're working with or that you're serving so you can't be in the public's eye? This is what I'm gathering from the newspaper. Right? That's what George wrote in the newspaper of her excuse of why she wasn't at work. So why weren't you at work, Dorothy?
So she was at work, but she was doing it remotely from home, like we.
But there's no trace of it. There's no proof of what she was doing. So what was she doing?
So I don't know if there is or not.
There's nothing that's came out.
So
if you put me in that position, I would be like, here's all the stuff I did.
Yeah.
And I want to get paid.
Yeah. I was still doing my job.
But what does she do? She's in there trying to say, well, she didn't openly carry a gun. It was concealed.
Well, that was the issue that was brought before to lose her job.
There's
more to that.
Yeah, there's also after one of the main things.
And Brad Bosley, we want you to get on here and talk about this.
One of the reasons why they're after her about her job, too, is because she didn't show up to work and she didn't report it. That's why another reason why they're after her job.
Yeah, and so I was at the meeting when all that discussion was taking place. Now we got A, B, and C, right? You got Alan, Brian, and Chad. Lockhart. ABC.
Yeah, how's that fit into Dorothy?
I'm going to show you exactly how that fits in here. It's not Alan that works at the dump. And I think Chad works at the Santa de Cristo Electric deal.
Yeah, Brian's the dump guy.
So Brian's at the dump. Brian calls in, and this is audio and video. And that's why I begged you to listen to that audio, that video. Because I wouldn't have to have this conversation right now with you. He calls in, and he goes, well, I'm the head out here, and I don't tell anybody when I'm taking time off, and I don't think that's supposed to happen. If I have to take time off, I just take time off. It's audio and video recorded. He called in and said, look, I'm the head here, and if I have to take a few days off and do this and do that, I still get my job done, but I didn't tell anybody that I wasn't there.
Well, so
wait a minute.
I double dog dare Brian to try to do that because he might think he's the head, but he works for the commissioners. He ain't the head.
He told himself. Stephen?
So try that, Brian, and see.
They got a 4-day work week, buddy boy.
Try that and see how you get your tit in the ringer, pal.
He's already said he's done it. Got away with it. It was all.
Try that again while everybody's watching you and see what happens.
So here again. After that conversation, I was in that meeting, and they were she had a 30-day notice. She was fired.
Well, so that's another thing that Vogelsong, I mean.
They didn't know if they were, what do you call it?
Punched or bored?
Punched or bored. Them 3 commissioners didn't know if they was punched or bored when I got done.
Well, so Vogelsong brings up the motion to fire her ass, but votes no.
You know why? So he left out the whole conversation. And folks, this is audio and video. This is all audio and video. You don't need to take my word for it. Go right to Zoomy. 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whenever the hell it was. My days are running together. I stood up and I said, with all the shenanigans that you guys have done, and you're going to attack her? And I said, it looks kind of suspicious because she's the one that told the public about the sludge. I said, it looks suspicious to me that you guys are attacking her because you towed her car off of Oak Creek Grade when she was going to get it. And the coroner hauled the car because he's a tow truck company.
So where was
the suspicion
where was the sheriff?
He's the one that gave the okay.
Well, so that's what we rely on them people to do. So if there's a stranded vehicle, just saying.
Hey, it's Dorothy. Give her a minute to get it. She's one of us. She works here. No.
Oh, that's back to that same old thing.
Absolutely. That's why I'm bringing it up.
Hell, we're all on the same side. We're all related. It don't matter what the rules are.
Not if you want her gone. And why do you want her gone? Why do you want Dorothy gone? Who's there wanting the job?
It's the other way, right? So they would have towed anybody else's car. And if the sheriff gave the go-ahead, what are you supposed to do there?
Maybe they wasn't even tagged yet. Maybe there's a little bit of hoo-ha going on there.
Maybe before there's accusations, though, maybe somebody ought to hunt down the facts from the sheriff's department and see if it was.
That's right, and I didn't see any of that taking place. I heard he said, she said, that.
That's what I'm saying.
I was like,
that
wait a minute.
Nothing to me. That's what I'm saying about her working at home, and she says, well, you said I could, but where's your work?
What'd you do?
Can you prove that you did?
Right.
Oh, well, you were doing something for your husband that has to do with septics. Oh, so.
Which is already a conflict of interest.
Hello?
So, anyways, what I did.
So that's the thing that, if it's we're over here worried about the gal carrying a firearm. Okay, yeah, I understand that it is a gun, right? But in my world, a gun is no more than a wrench, right?
It ain't.
I can get to you just as quick and sever your goddamn spinal column with a wrench as I can with a gun. It doesn't matter to me.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
Absolutely. And
So-
I wholeheartedly agree.
Oh my God, she's got her gun and I can see it. And Brad, I mean, like, I'm still trying to figure out, and all I know is from the paper, right? And it's like, Brad, you're mad at her because she had her gun on your.
Because he towed her car. See, nobody knows the intimacy about all this. Nobody understands that Bill Cannon had a hard-on against her.
So was that before or after?
It was after. It was
because it says there's 3 or 4. There's like
car.
12 different inspections. There's like 12 different inspections according to the paper.
Yeah, and they had no other proof other than what Brad said. Even the HR guy was there. They said, "Well, where is it?" Well, it's over there. And it's just like you said. Everybody's got that. Boom! I got it right here. He didn't do that. Bob Smith didn't say, "Here they are, right here." Because I was listening. I was in the meeting. I was like, "Well, where are they?" Well, he said, she said? Well, you better have it here, buddy. If you're fixing to terminate somebody and the county is going to get a lawsuit because you don't terminate her properly was my biggest concern because I don't want my taxes going up because we got to spend more money on lawyers.
That comes to the termination part is that she didn't show up to work. Not the gun. It's you didn't show up to work. And you didn't tell nobody. Oh, well, Paul said I could.
There you go.
Paul said you couldn't.
Well, Paul was backtracking then.
Whatever. Maybe she's backtracking.
So who knows? I don't know.
It's not I don't care.
I'm just saying it's very questionable, and she was already.
All I know is that there's a lot of bullshit going on. In my opinion, she's over here. Why would she want to work from home? You're scared?
I don't.
You're scared. Somebody made a threat against you. Oh my God. Oh, that's the junior high bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's not junior high. It's real life.
Yeah, it's like third grade bullshit.
So it's not third grade or junior high. It's not school. It's actually real time.
I know, but it's so petty that it's shit. Third graders don't act like that.
You know, look at Ann Barthur up in the Republican Party.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
Third graders don't act like that.
They don't even act. Yeah, there you go.
They don't know it yet, right?
I'm just saying they
ain't conniving that long.
Conniving. Thank God you said that. I was trying to think of that word. So the connivance in these political positions, in the jockeying that goes on in the atmosphere here.
That literally is nothing. That's just like the teenage drama queens. No, I want to be queen. No, I'm better. Look, no, I got more boyfriend. No, I got more money. My daddy's richer than your daddy.
I got better grades.
That's all. That's nothing more than that.
Well, yeah.
It isn't. Look what is going on at the Republican Party is nothing more than that. I'm better than you. I'm better than you.
What do you always say? Most everything, all the decisions and stuff comes down to what? Money. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's money, and then, I mean, part of it...
So we're not in junior high and third graders. It's about money and politics and power.
Part of it has to do with ego.
Egos and agendas, baby. That's the book I'm writing. Egos and agendas. That's the book I'm writing.
So, I mean, money fuels your ego, but ego is what gets you in them positions.
Absolutely, brother, man.
You think you're better than someone else.
Yep. You're entitled.
That's why Billy Bob Biden acts the way he does, because he's a full bird colonel, and we're all just a bunch of piss ants. Hell, I'm going to boss you around because I have the authority.
And I don't understand then that he's our servant.
Yeah, and
he missed the whole thing there. But he talks a good game. Oh, we're here to serve the people are our bosses. You know, if you really believe that and had the attitude and the personality to carry that,
all the Justice Center shit wouldn't be at your office.
See, here again, you could say something, but if it doesn't add up, if it doesn't come flush, you're a liar. You're a deceiver. You're a con person. And that's where I'm at with Bill. And I think Lucas has come to grips with himself. And I think Paul Vogelson's going, integrity is everything. We've got to be upright. And those two know that Billy Bob is a little bit Biden. The two of them, if you talk to them and you watch them, how they smirk about Bill.
What are they doing about it? That's my whole thing.
They're waiting for we the people to do something with the DA.
Just like ICE knows that there's all these criminals, but are they getting any of them? No, we got two. Boy, that's going to get us somewhere.
So you know what's going on in L.A., right? And you know June 13th? Is it June 13th? What's the date? Today's like the 11th. So Wednesday. Yeah. So Saturday, they've got plans all from coast to coast, north to south. They get one of the girls that own Wally World, Walmart, whatever her name is. She's one of the inheritance. Walton. She's sponsoring, as well as Soros and a few other liberal nimrods that have a lot of money, are sponsoring this Hate America Day. Or hate, there's no king. They're going, Trump is acting like he's king. Well, when you get to a point...
Actually, he's not, because he was acting like he was king, it would be off with your head.
He'd be asking you and I, hey, Jim and Steve, you guys are going to have to get involved in this, because now we got a real problem.
If he was the king, he would already slaughtered them all.
Absolutely. He's very civil. He's dealing with a very big mess. We've had such a trespass in our country with all these people invading us. And it was just a mat. I mean, Biden opened up the doors. And when he's giving them $3,000, $5,000.
The thing about it, too, if you talk to some of these guys that I listen to, there was already 20 million of them here before Biden got in there. So nobody knows that. Nobody gives a shit. Oh, hell, we're fine. It's fine.
So here again, you got to have somebody that's serious, that has the heart and the concern of our borders and our people that are here. And when somebody shows up, that conflict, it's kind of like if somebody took your water, stole your water, and was using it on their property. Somebody gonna be pissed. So here again,
and that
Trump shows up and says, "No, that's my water. These are my people. I'm protecting my people." Okay. Just because you guys got in here with the Biden regime, that doesn't make you okay here. I have a duty to protect the American citizens. The people that are here rightfully, whether they're immigrants that have been here for 20 years that went through the process, that are real Americans, that took an oath. See, they have to take an oath. These people just come up in here. And what do they call it? Oh, they're here because they had nowhere else to go. Well, you have to go to the first country that gives you that asylum. You don't go running through another country just to get here. So the protocol of the trespass is at all-time high, and it could be very well 40, 50,000, maybe 100,000 trespassers in the United States.
That's far more than that, in my opinion.
So how many did I say?
100,000.
Yeah, I should say maybe 40 million.
Yeah, that's the guys that
I'm sorry, I was completely off. I was in wishful thinking, hoping that it wasn't as bad as I was thinking. So there's 330 million, 350 million Americans?
There used to be 320.
That was the last census, maybe?
I'm not sure.
So anyways, legally, we're probably 340, 350 million that are registered American
I don't think
people.
it ain't that many.
And then when you introduce 40 million, 40 million, that means we have a severe crisis.
The population of the United States in 1980 was 226 million.
1980. So what was it in 2010? Because they do it every 10 years, right? The census?
That's what I'm saying. That's the big problem.
So here again, we've diluted and gave a lot of money.
So in 2010, it was 308.
In 2020, 308. God, I thought we were like 330 million. I could be wrong. Be the first time, though.
Mid 2025, 343 million.
343 million current. That's mid 2025, you said?
That's what it says.
Okay, so there you go. You probably got 40 million.
Yeah.
40 million.
They say 50, but yeah. There was 20 million in before they started letting them all in. Obama and all them, they'd let...
So there was... I also heard that Obama had got rid of 3 million. I think Bush got rid of 6 million. There was a lot of these things, you know what I'm saying? But they probably got rid of 3 million, but let 20 million in.
Yeah, I mean...
So at the end of the day, it's just kind of shell game. I mean, and part of this is...
they have an agenda, and their agenda is to...
Dilute the culture of America.
It's already happened to all the European countries. Hell, let them damn whatever them...
Well, you see what Poland did.
Let them Muslim gangs run around in the UK raping all these little kids, and then see how long that goes around here before lead starts flying.
Well, there'll damn sure be a whole bunch of... If it ain't lead, it'll damn sure be a bunch of unpermissible... That will be unpermissible. That will not be taking place.
So, I mean, what are we supposed to do here, folks? Solution-oriented. Number one, you better pray.
I'm going to agree with you, Stephen.
Number two, you better pop your head out of your ass and get to looking at what's really going on around in your surroundings, right?
Situational awareness.
A lot of bad shit.
Educate yourself. Educate yourself the best you can. Don't be overwhelmed. Hold tight to your daily duties. But as a man of the house, I'm going to encourage everybody to say, really, what are a realistic whoopsie-daisy that could happen? And am I able to protect my family and myself from some of that goofiness?
Well, that's the thing. I mean...
And that's what you always say. Get yourself straightened first.
Yeah. We think about, well, the whole kit and caboodle, but when it really comes down, it doesn't probably happen like that. It's a carjacker. Yeah. Carjacker just killed your wife and your kids, and you're over here going, God, I wished I had a gun. Yeah, well, wish in one hand and shit in the other, and see which one fills up quicker, man. I mean, that's where we're at here. Is you have to get to reality. And reality is with all these illegals, all these criminals, there's no justice system, there's no penalty for doing the wrong thing.
No consequences.
Hell, man, crime is rampant. And back to being a law enforcement official. I mean, I've always told myself I could never be one, right? I'm not wired that way. Number one, I'm not going to try to come up to you and police you, right? I have no desire to try to police
not even
else.
A little bit.
Not even a little bit.
Not even a little bit.
But like someone that's in LA, they can't even do their job, right? They can't serve and protect. because they're handcuffed because you have all this racial tension. It's
right out of the playbook of communism, Marxism.
It's epic, man.
It's epic. So, anyways, we don't have it at our front door right now.
No,
we do have a parade. Like I said, a lot of these people
it's closer than we think because
what are
they doing? They're wanting to start all the low income housing again. Oh, we're going to get some grants. These nimrods want the county to pay 80-20 on a grant for low income housing. I forgot what guy that was. Just went to the town, and when I see Paul Winkie at lunch next time, his ass, dude. And not to mention, Lucas, your ass still, Chuck is going to find you one of these days. You and your little low-income housing bullshit.
Man, I pity that day. So here again, the deception and playing us, treating your elected position like if it's your own. Like if it's your own, Bill, or Lucas, or Paul. It's not yours. It's mine. It's Steve's. It's all the constituents. And I know there's 3 districts, and Billy Bob Biden, I know you're my representative. Oh, Jimmy, you don't want to call them other 2. You call me. Well, you need to pick up your phone. Number 2 is each of you carry a third of my voice. Bill, you're not my guy. You're a third of my representative. It's at large here, okay? There's 3 districts, but the 3 of you vote for an issue that affects my life. So you all have a third.
Let's get another wood chipper. And then wonder where the money's coming from.
So piss me off and piss a whole bunch more of us off with your bad decision making in a fiduciary position. It's not your company. That's not your money. That's not your checkbook. And I'll never forget. I will never, ever. I'm laughing to this day in the griefness of how petty it was. My mommy had a stamp, and now I got one too. You're the one that said it. My mommy, but you didn't say it. All you did was repeat what Kevin Day said. My mommy had a stamp, and now I got one. I mean, really? And that's the guy that worked at Roads and Bridges, and during the safety meetings, they watched porn? Kevin? The ridiculousness and the bullshit that this county has endured with a bunch of derelicts that get free money. Because if you're working, I don't care if you're the sheriff, the coroner, I don't care if you're the janitor, and you're getting taxpayer money. You're held to a higher degree of behavior. Period. And I don't know if you're ever going to get it.
They ain't going to get it. That's
and that's okay because the DA is going to convince you of it here pretty soon.
It's back to that whole thing. Either you're a fiduciarily responsible human being, or you think you're just going to get more and more and more. All them elected officials just going to get more and more and more.
Right. So Brian Lockhart, if you work out, and I appreciate that you're taking care of the landfill and you've stepped up and you're serving your servant. But you called in during the Dorothy debacle. See, I was there. I know what happened. And you called in and say, "Hey, I'm the head of this, and when I take days off, I don't tell anybody that I have to go do that. It's recorded, brother. It's live. It's memorized. You know, it ain't memorized. It's right there. Boom, 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 boom. Your words. Defending Dorothy. And you got them commissioners backpedaling upside down and backwards. And I appreciate your honesty in what you said. But here again, the rules and the standard operating procedures that have to be followed by public servants, anybody receiving public money, has to be adhered to. All T's crossed and all I's dotted. It's not, well, I didn't feel like it. like that there today. If it's your business and you're responsible for the profit and loss, the balance sheet, well, you can roll like that. That's because that's me. That's me. I'm responsible for my balance sheet as an individual. When you're taking my money at gunpoint through taxes, and if I don't pay them, you're going to take my stuff. You better get this through your head pretty quick, because this is where it's all coming down to. You have an obligation to treat the money you take from me very, very, very responsibly. That's why it's called the Sunshine Law. It ain't the backdoor deal law. It's the Sunshine Law. Oh, we're going to do workshops, Stephen, because we don't want anybody coming in here when we're talking about the finances.
No, they don't.
We can't. We're going to call it a workshop. We're going to do your business behind your back because we're too damn stupid and embarrassed to do this stuff in front of you. How incompetent and shameful are you people?
I don't think it has anything to do with that. They're doing it on purpose.
Well,
they ain't
so again, I'm trying to keep clean eyes.
Embarrassed.
So here again, I would be.
I would too, but they're not.
There you go.
It has nothing to do with that. They are not embarrassed one bit.
They're pretty brazen or whatever. They're all, we'll do it, and this is how we're going to do it.
I'm better than you. I can make your decisions for you. I'm smarter than you are, and I'm better than you.
Man, I'm just.
That's the whole.
Steve, when it all comes out, that's what I'm saying. We had a beautiful person in Jackie Hobby that was in zoning. We had a very beautiful, get along, make things hold together, deal with the population, the people, and she was, to me, she was pretty. She fit really well. Now, why would Tom Flower keep nudging and causing her to, there was a violent working environment that was created there. A lot of people don't have situational awareness, but here again, egos and agendas.
Well, it's real easy, right? That's what we were talking about earlier, right?
She wasn't going along with the plan.
If somebody would have beat Tom Flower's ass when he needed it, he wouldn't act like that.
Well, that ship sailed.
And so it's a runaway train, and that's, I'm over it, right? I'm over talking about it. They are what they are. We ain't going to change them. All you can do, folks, is try to change your own little world. And try to put the pressure on them the best you can. We ain't going to change them. All we can do is try to put enough pressure on them to maybe manipulate them to try to get them to do what we want. You ain't going to
like herding cattle.
You ain't going to, well, herding cattle's easy. We're talking about herding cats, right? I fucking herd your ass with cattle, boy. I can
make them go.
Happen. Damn right.
We'll panel you up. We'll make you go.
No questions.
And I guess that's kind of where I'm at. I just shake a bucket and my cattle come running. I don't have to hurt them. I don't have to force them.
All you got to do is shake your bucket at Billy Bob Biden and see what you get. How's that working for you, by the way?
It's working good.
It doesn't look like it.
Oh, I don't shake my bucket there.
I'm just saying.
That's a hot shot there, baby.
I'm just saying.
That's a hot shot. And what were you herding them bulls with?
4-wheel drive.
The
front end loader.
Front end loader. 2,000 pound, 2,500 pound, whatever. They're big and mean.
Yeah, you get 50 of them together.
Oh,
in
buddy,
the spring.
Donkeys.
They will kill you.
They will kill you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you can definitely lose your life messing with them.
Yeah.
So
that's one thing I'll say is, how do you break up a bullfight? You don't.
No, if you really want to.
And how do you try to get
6 iron, right? You really want to stop them? Shoot their dumb ass.
You'd have to.
That's where we're at. Right? I don't want to promote violence, but it's like
that's where we're at.
That's how we got here, folks. It's how the Revolutionary War went down. The Civil War went down.
And we need strong
leadership. How the Mexican War went down. All that was at the end of a gun.
Yep. So at the end of the day,
and that's what made people respect stuff. There is no respect now
because there's no consequences.
There's no consequence. Yeah, because you can't get shot. Because if you step out of the line and shoot somebody, and you're a cop, then all of a sudden, then you're
the bad guy.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, making a bad situation, trying to figure out the silver lining, trying to be optimistic, try to be loving and kind and salvage whatever we can. We're going to have strong leadership in the future. Bill Canda's coming up for election. I think he's termed out.
26. He's got to come up.
So we're midway through 25. So he's got a year and a half. So if we have people that want to get involved in that, please educate yourself. No, keep us out of lawsuits.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Anyways, I'm looking at problem solving. I'm looking at the future. I know the here and now is kind of a wreck, and it's just glued together. When Custer County...
When you got to sit over here and you got to tell people you need to keep us out of lawsuits. Really? That's where I'm...
I mean, good God.
I've had enough, folks. I've had enough. That's not where I came from, and that's not where I'm at. Try to tell me, well, you gotta try to find somebody that won't get us sued. Oh, fuck. Well, get out of here with that shit. Get away from me with that.
So the deal is, the law. If you follow the law, it protects you.
And it's back to that. Man, this is. I go ahead and state the obvious.
Absolutely.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm tired of. Maybe I'm a little angry white boy, or maybe my mind is already. My fuse is already. The dynamite is just about to go bang, right? I mean, it's already in the dynamite. Yeah, it just has.
Oh, wait a minute. We're talking about that.
It's only another millisecond till it all explodes, right? I mean, my mind is already there.
So I wanted to ask you too. How are we doing with the mortar men and the finances with the fireworks?
Well, so we're still way behind. I mean, most of the time.
You made a pretty good jump, though. I thought you made a pretty good. Did you get a little bit more lately? Or?
I don't know. I mean, Josh is the treasurer, right? So he looks at the books. Brian is the CEO, right? I'm just the guy that lights the fuse.
Right.
But I mean, we're gaining a little bit. We're still probably 10,000.
So I'm just gonna say I'm plugging the mortarmen. These guys have donated their skill, got educated, insured.
Shit, it's a liability, man.
It's a huge liability.
Nobody understands that. They think, oh hell.
Well, they're
ridiculous. Again. People are so disrespectful. It makes my stomach sick.
Yeah, it's a complacency of somebody else is going to do something for me. It's always
well. That's it. Hell, I'm going to reap the benefit. That's what I said. Jimmy, you gave me a beer. Can I have another one? Yeah. And you got a cigarette. You got a cigarette too.
Yeah.
Oh shit, you got a joint too.
Oh yeah.
Shit, fire that son of a bitch up, man. Come on.
Is that a potato in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
Come on.
I hear you. No, I understand that. I mean, there's the law of the human nature is consistent, and that's why having instruction to discipline ourselves and get us out of the fleshly mentality that we're grown up with, and grow up and be strong men, where you make good decisions, not based on emotion, not based on a biased bullshit.
The only thing that's gonna begin to get any of that going is discipline and heartache. You have to get your ass beat a time or two before you realize that you ain't the biggest man on the block.
You ain't the top predator.
You ain't gonna tell your dad, "Well, kiss my ass" when you're 10 years old. He's gonna take a switch to your ass.
Mm-hmm. Been there, done that.
Well, and that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. There's
no switch to take to their ass, is there?
It isn't. And so to think that people are just gonna somehow magically pull out of this.
So, Mr. Lindsay, Jeff, the DA, I hope that you go ahead and follow through with your office and your authority to maybe encourage the people that are running our county
And
with his investigation.
I totally agree with you, but that's back. I've said this before, and it's the way that I really feel. It's bullshit that you even got to force them that way. You got to threaten them with a lawsuit, or you got to threaten these people to do their job.
Yeah, you do.
Fuck.
That's where we're at.
I've had not with me.
Well, it doesn't. Here again,
right? I'm just saying, in my world, that's not how I operate, and it's not how I live, and it's not how I'm going to participate. It's not how I go down, folks.
It's not, Stephen. It's not about.
In my world, it's nothing but me. Nobody else takes care of me. Nobody else pays my tax. Nobody else does jack shit for me but me.
And here again, to me, I feel the same way. That's me. But when you have an environment in Custer County where you live, and the leadership and elected officials
I'm just waiting, sitting here. I mean, we've done about we got our little branding irons in the fire, and we do a little bit here and there. But at the end of the day, brother, I guarantee you that I got a lot more firepower, horsepower, waiting for the shit to go down and really make a difference than we've been doing.
Oh no,
I'm just waiting I'm just biding the time.
99%.
And so, I mean, what am I supposed to do?
And
like you and I have talked about, what are we going to do? Go smoke Polis?
So no, and that's what I made it clear with the sheriff. It's like, I'm going to use my First Amendment, Sheriff, the best I can, not to be oppressed and not to be despitefully used by the people that I pay with my taxes that they take at gunpoint from me. I'm going to do my very best to be as civil as I can and use my First Amendment. That's what we're doing. When that resource is completely exhausted, the Second Amendment, and that's damn near where we're at.
Just saying.
The Second Amendment is the only...
It goes one, and then two.
Uno, and dos.
And then we'll get on up a little farther past that. But that, I mean...
So anyways, we do need some support for the fireworks.
We need support for the fireworks unless you people just don't care, right? And so, whatever. I mean, I'm still going to do it regardless of what kind of support we get. And I guess I shouldn't be negative because, I mean, it's still early. Most of the time, the big support usually comes. People don't normally donate for fireworks 3 months ahead, right? It's usually a week ahead or... You know, and so we just finally found out that they're supposed to lift the fire ban.
Okay.
Right, so that's the last thing I want is a bunch of money rounded up, and then people are going like, well, shit, we can't watch it. Well,
that exactly.
Whatever, man. I mean, like I said, it's a little bit of a sore spot with me because I'm the one that's liable. And y'all, I just don't think that anybody understands what is going on. When the legal counsel tells me, he said, you're out of your frickin' mind for doing that shit. Yeah, well.
So you stepped up, and that's what I'm saying.
I mean, I'm taking a serious risk.
Brian and Josh, the three amigos that are in charge of that thing, is a hell of a public service. It's huge. And for people not to recognize the liability that these men take on to support the patriotism of this country.
Once
again, it's folks, kind of sad.
Why do you think that the fire department no longer does it? All the training and all the people and the manpower and the money and then suspender snapping and all that.
Well, and that's some of the other things. I do want to be able to use this platform to interview people that are in those positions. I'd like to have Jeremy. I think is he the chief now?
Mm-mm.
Who's the chief?
Jeremiah.
Jeremiah. I'm sorry, I said Jeremy. Jeremiah. So anyways, people like that would like to be able to talk to the community, whether you're a commissioner or a mayor, whether you're a school teacher.
We put out quite a few invites. We haven't had many takers. I mean, kudos to
Dave.
Dave, yeah. He's the only one that would had enough ball sack to come up in here. So kudos to
Yeah, Dave, that was good. And I got to talk to you the other day about stuff. Still a little suspicious about how many truckloads went out in the amount of time, in the travel time. Kind of would like to look at the logs and just see how many trucks left and really what took place there. But here again, a constituent shouldn't have to be able to try to follow up and see if somebody's done the right thing.
That's what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
I'm so tired of it.
The people that we've elected and entrusted, we've entrusted you guys.
I don't get paid to babysit. You know what I mean?
So, what you just said is profound. But the founding fathers said, you better babysit, otherwise they're going to take you to the cleaners.
Yeah, well, I got cleaners in the back room ready to go.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
You're only going to clean me so long.
Right.
There's more to work here than me. Like I said, it's only divine intervention is going to take care of this. I'm not. Jimmy's not. We can bitch and moan about it all we want and prove our facts, prove our stance is correct, which it is. They're public servants. They serve us.
They have an accountability and transparency.
But are we doing any good?
I think we are a little bit.
Has Billy Bob Biden ever going to come on here? No. We know he's not.
No.
So, I mean, with that being said, I mean, I don't know what's...
Anyways, I know the three of us, Mike Boring, Steve Rourke, and Jim McMahon, we are trying to use our First Amendment and the freedom and be engaged in a civic conversation and try to discuss some local issues here and engage other people to talk to these people as your friends, your relatives, however they're related to you, personally, or just they're your neighbor and they're representing you and they're spending your tax dollars. You need to be more engaged in what they're doing in the decision making.
Part of it is you gotta stand.
And they need it.
You need to stand up too, because I mean, just this whole patty cake stuff, it ain't getting it done. And it's to the point where kind words are really not going to do anything anymore, right? It's past that point. Kind words is not going to get Billy Bob Biden to do anything. We've already kind worded his ass all we can. Bill, can we see the Justice Center stuff? Oh, you've already seen all there is. Oh, really? Well, so when you let one of the constituents go to your house and look at all the shit, I mean,
people have to press to get to transparency when it should be open, honest, and transparent. And Bill should be sitting here
and the problem
embracing this opportunity to talk to the constituents.
The problem is the people are too used to playing patty cake. Oh, well, maybe he's probably doing an all right job. Okay. Right? Okay. That's good enough with me, right? I don't care.
I'm just wondering.
I have other stuff that I'm going to go do right now that's more important than what Billy Bob Biden's doing. Go ahead and buy us another wood chipper, pal. And at some point, maybe be lucky if you don't fall in it.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
make sure you get training.
That's where we're at, right? The gloves, like Jimmy said, the gloves are coming off. The patty caking is over.
It's been over.
So with that being said, I mean, I don't want to I'm already wrapped up enough, and I don't want to be wrapped up.
Pray for rain. Pray for more rain. We don't have enough snowpack to carry the ranchers through this season. So we're definitely going to need the monsoons, and we need the grace of God to carry us through. There's a lot of cattle up here, a lot of hay to be made.
All we really got, folks, is the opportunity to better ourselves, better our position, and better our fellow mankind. That's all that we have. There's nothing else to it.
No, in the time that we're born in, and the season of life that humanity's in. We got to muster up as much love and kindness for each other, but hold each other responsible.
And that's the whole thing. I'm over the love and kindness. I'm talking about getting the switch out and getting your ass switched.
Absolutely.
Love and kindness
so
is
that is
over.
love to me, and kindness. If you don't love your child enough to correct him,
so that's
so it's all human nature. There ain't 1 ounce of it that doesn't come down to correction and discipline and doing the right thing.
You can only do so many things and do it wrong. And then if you put yourself back in the old days with the saber-toothed cats or whatever, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if you fooled around, it was your life, or that was your whole family's life, right?
Yeah.
So you didn't act astray because it was.
You were always thinking ahead and protecting.
Consequences.
So I'm one of them people that think ahead. I'm a belts and suspender kind of guy. And that's kind of what motivates me to say, hey, as commissioners and leaders of this community, we need to work together and be thinking about the future and the health and where we're going as a community. Not surrendering to whatever this other dogma that may be taking place. I don't know what their agenda is.
Low-income housing?
So there's a lot of nonsense. And we're into
low-income housing.
We're talking about
thing. That's playing patty cakes.
It is.
You can't do it, so we'll do it for you.
Yeah, the government has
and now they're talking about, so you got to have a whole board. Because the towns or the county don't want to administrate the rent, so now you're going to have to form a board to try to take care of all.
Marxism at its finest.
Oh man.
So folks, let's wake up. Let your voice be heard. If this is kind of resonated in your ears, please join the fight. You take the fight on as an individual. We take the fight on as individuals. Show up. If we can unite and kind of strengthen ourselves.
Go out, kick. Just don't kick the dog. He didn't deserve it. And unless he did, then kick his ass. So,
anyways, at the end of the day, we need as much grace and mercy as we can possibly get. The Round Mountain dilemma is not even close to being over. It's an experiment. I don't think it's even close to going to be working. That's probably a $15 million whoopsie-daisy. We need to get Dave back on here and not interrogate you, Dave, but we do need to get down to the nut cutting.
There's nothing going to happen until they get it set up and you can test it. Otherwise, it's all he said, she said.
Right. And from what I've seen of it, it's poppycock. Every bit of it's just ear-tickling. So the dilemma with flushing and water and all that here is still, it's not resolved. It's not resolved.
It never has been, never was. So that's what it is.
That's what I'm saying. The future is where we need to be looking. Is that over here, not right here, but over there. What do we do here to get there? That's the key.
If you already drank wine from a lead cup for 10 years, you're going to die. There's no going back. You're toast. You're done. That's all there is to it. You drank too much lead, pal. Sorry. It's just the fact of the way of the matter of it.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, there is no return. And so with that being said, folks, we wish you a good evening. We'll see you next week.
Take care. Thanks. Thanks, Mike.